Hello and welcome to another episode of Rugby Through the Leagues podcast. This week we are going to do our Six Nations special. So we're going to do the fantasy choices again. There was at least 5 people that watched it last time, so it might be one of our most popular episodes. I'm not sure, but we'll have a go. We might get the 6. So we're going to do this episode where we go balls deep and see how good we are at actually picking a team for the whole tournament. So this team, injuries, suspensions, dog shit performances, all of it could quite hamper this league. We will then be doing a second team, which we're going to keep updating on a weekly basis. Keith has actually joined us, but not joined us. He sent it to me. So we'll get to see how an Irishman thinks they're going to obviously win the Six Nations this time round. We've got Kent, we've got Polly, we've got Buster. Kent's got to jump off, so we've only got to put up with him for a little bit. So we thought we'd let him get this done. We can all tell him how shit he is and then let him go, and then we can talk more shit about him afterwards. So Kent, good to see you, mate. Welcome back. Good to have you on.
Thank you. Thanks for the intro, Carl.
No worries.
I look forward to see how much I hope you get abused afterwards. You're saying the team's got announced. I have literally about 20 minutes ago, half an hour ago, saw that a few of my players had been dropped out. So this has been literally changed quite recently. So it's kind of seat of the pants stuff. Start with 15 straight away. You don't think you can go far wrong with Ramos. French team, I think he'll be picked as long as he's fit most weeks. Kicks for them. On the wing, Bielbiri is going to probably odds on anyway to play week in, week out for them. Other wing, I've gone a bit left field here. Reece Zammit coming back in. I think Wales are lacking any, now that Morgan's out as well, any sort of star power. And I think Reece Zammit is going to play week in, week out for them and hopefully be a big player for them. Centres. He sort of kind of picks himself at the moment. Hugh Jones, Lions, stalwart for the Jocks. Week in, week out, I think he's to play and hopefully get me a few points. Moefana, with the injuries France had, I think he would have played most weeks anyway. But with Foucault not being in the squad, I think it's just one less risk in the middle for him. Halfbacks. If anyone else has gone different to this, I'd like to see why they've gone different. Finn Russell, that mercurial player for Scotland. Who else have they got at 10? Anyone else who would take that place from Finn? Not that I think there. And the man himself, Dupont. Hope he doesn't have another one like the last season when he gets injured early doors.
If he does, it's your fault, basically.
Yeah. Well, in that case, as long as it happens later on when it plays England, and hopefully we can get the win over them again. It'll be quite nice there. Forwards, front row. I think Genge is good for meters, potentially good for tries. Problem is with most front rows, they rotate them. So to get a player who plays more than sort of 60, 70 minutes or 50, 60 minutes is going to be a bit of a struggle. But I think Genge will be in the squad and most of the game days.
Yeah.
Pierre Schumann, I believe he was probably the highest point scorer in the front rows for last season. And again, I think he'll play week in, week out for Scotland even.
Trying to cover your bets there. He is South African, so maybe he plays for France as well. Who knows?
Mate, was that talk going on about Tom Willis coming back? No, Jack Willis coming back and trying to play for Ireland. Yeah.
But there's rumours these days. There was rumours of him France trying to get him because he's obviously been there long enough. So who knows?
Yeah, anything can happen. I've gone a bit left field. Dan Sheehan as my captain.
I don't think that's left field at all.
I think for last season, the amount of tries he scored, the amount of points he did, and to captain him, back of that rolling ball for the lineouts, I think Sheehan's hopefully going to rack up a few points for me. Is it the British and Irish Lions second row? Toji and Ty Byrne?
Ty Byrne sort of dropped into the back row a bit, but yeah, there's pretty much, that's a pretty standard one, I think, to be fair.
Yeah, and so Ty Burns, his ability to play back row and second row gives him more chance to get picked this team being picked that could be in for the whole tournament, you're not going to pick stars who come in and out. It's going to be more players who you think can play week in, week out. Same for the back row. I think Ben Earl was probably one of the standout players for England. His ability in the backfield, again, ability to play centre, this whole hybrid rugby stuff means that he's going to definitely get game time.
Yeah.
Doris, unfortunately, missed out on the Lions. I think he would chop in a bit to prove that he should have been picked. And obviously, he should have been potentially captain for the Lions, which unfortunately, or luckily enough, Toje got to add to his titles. And Jack Dempsey, again, Scotland, I think the back row, they're quite competitive. I just think for me, he stands out a little bit. And I think it gives the ability to actually get me some decent points, which might be a bit different to other people who've gone. Obviously, we know we're captains, Dan Sheehan, and my sub, I think I've gone for the super sub, Henry Pollock. I think Pollock's ability to play, make that impact over the bench, means he won't be a starter, especially in how competitive England's back row is. But when he comes on, he normally makes an impact for me. So I'm thinking, hopefully, if he comes on, scores a few tries, will put him in a good stead.
This is what I said earlier in the group. I said, because we've been given so many points, is that you can, the teams are going to be themselves. The teams are pretty much going to be almost identical in terms of you could probably go through and pick 7 players that probably everyone's still got. Yeah, it's just those little choices. I think Ruth Zammit was a
brave choice.
I think it's a brave choice. I don't know if Wales are going to do that much running with a rugby with the ball. You know, they might start playing him in the centres, which means that he is going to get his hands on the ball a little bit more and create some opportunities. But you know, the Wales set piece and the Wales pack aren't the greatest going forward. They have got one of the best scrum halves in the whole of the Six Nations. So it depends really. But yeah, I don't think there's anything too left field there, if that makes sense.
I think the Dempsey one's a brave call. I think that could quite easily not get in the squad on a number of occasions because they love to rotate. Like, I don't know. I think that would probably be one of my only. And Schumann depends on his form. Sometimes, obviously, last season done really well. It'd normally be a stalwart for me, to be fair, as well. But kind of not always first choice, even at Edinburgh at the minute. Is it Edinburgh still? Is it Edinburgh? Wasn't first choice there. I think they're exploring other options. Under Townsend's got to do something this year, otherwise. I think he gets the bullet. Obviously, between him and being there and Red Bull, Newcastle stuff, is this the time that they might finally say, "See you later"? If he doesn't do what they could do, the potential of this Scotland squad is probably the best it's probably been for a long time. I think last season they should have done a lot better and. I think he's got to really get a result out of them.
You look at this Six Nations, everyone potentially bar Italy are under pressure this year to actually get results. Scotland, so nearly, but need to pull the finger out. Wales have been absolutely shocking, and they need to put a performance in to try and get themselves back actually onto the scene again.
I'd argue that I think Wales have probably got a free hit here, mate, because they're in such a shit show. They're losing a province. They're fucking, one of them's buying the other one. They're buying 50 grand's worth of fucking daffodils. I think getting results in the Six Nations is probably the last of their fucking worries. Because they're already getting tonked every fucking week. So going into this is probably a free hit. They've just got to try and make sure they don't finish bottom with 6 defeats. They're just trying to figure out where they get a win from. I think that's probably the only bit.
Yeah.
Italy have probably got to be one that actually they think we've got to get 1 or 2 victories here. They've got to have their eye on Scotland, and they've obviously got to make sure they don't lose to Wales now. Whereas for years they were obviously wooden spooned, but they're going to be obviously without Keith here to defend himself. I think Ireland have also got to panic a little bit. Yeah. Like there's a lot going on there. They didn't have the greatest sort of autumn international period coming into this one. This is probably a big statement for how they move forward. They still haven't really rotated, in my opinion. There's a lot of good players coming through. There was a lot of good players that I saw on the Ireland Day in the November internationals when they come over to Spain, and they haven't heavily hit the rotating button at the minute. Whether they're going to come into the squad later on, I don't know, but I think there's a lot of pressure elsewhere, as you said, but I don't think it's in Wales. I think this is probably the last thing they've got to worry about with whether they've even got any fucking clubs or players to start with.
How many clubs they got now? Because obviously I know that is it
4 regions. Four regions. Cardiff's owned by the WRU, so they've put it up for sale, and now the Ospreys are trying to buy Cardiff. So Swansea are basically trying to buy Cardiff. It's just bonkers.
You know, is that like Pompey trying to buy Southampton or Southampton trying to buy Pompey?
Basically, yeah, they fucking hate each other, and they're trying to and then obviously that's now got all those players. It's a massive shit show at the minute. So whatever they get out of this Six Nations is a positive. I don't think there's any pressure. I don't think there's any expectations to come out with anything. But go on, Buster. What's your opinion of his shit show of a squad that he's picked?
Like you said, Carl, the Dempsey choice I think is a brave choice. I can't see Scotland doing much this year. I think they peaked a couple of years ago and they've been on a bit of a downward spiral the last 12 to 18 months. Not sure about, like you said, Reece Samet. He might, ball in hand, meters made, make some points, but I don't think he's going to be on the receiving end of like braces or hat tricks or anything like that. So
meters made used to be massive in this game as well, though. Now they round it for every 10 rather than every metre. So yeah, it's a sucker punch. But I can see where you've gone for. I think everyone's probably made a token gesture by putting a Welsh player in their squad as well.
Mine was Jack Morgan. But I went in and obviously Aldrich and Morgan were out and I was like, yeah, delete, thank you.
I'll just run through my team. It's pretty much my back three. I've gone for Bielbury, but I've gone for Blair Kinghorn and James Lowe. I think Kinghorn's still one of the best players in Europe at the moment. I think he was superb on a Lions tour. He's doing really well again. And I just think the way Scotland play, they like to get the ball out wide. And James Lowe's just, as much as I hate him.
I can't stand the bloke.
I know, but he's so good. So I've just gone from there. In my centres, then this is the odd one.
He's lost a bit of pace though, isn't he?
Yeah, but I think you just... But he's so Mr. Reliable, isn't he? And we know that Farrell loves him. You know,
he's only in there. His left boot is a cheat code to an extent, but the problem is when he should score tries, he doesn't, and when he shouldn't, he goes and gets 2 or 3. That's the fucking annoying thing about him. Like when you actually rely on him, he won't fucking do it.
To be fair, I think I've not gone for a single English back, which is maybe odd. I don't know. I think England will be really strong this year in the Six Nations. My centre partnership, though, I've gone to Tuipulotu and I've gone for Menoncello as well. So I've gone an Italian in the centres with Tuipulotu. I think Italy are so much better than everyone thinks that they are.
Yeah.
I think that their rugby has been standout, and they had a good summer, and then they should hopefully and a good autumn nations as well. So that was good. I don't think there's many people moving away from Dupont and Finn Russell. Was lucky enough to go to Saracens Toulouse the other week and watch Dupont in the pissing rain, and just watching him warm up where he's kicking off both feet and just doing some ridiculous stuff. I think he was the thing that France missed, and he is like vital to that French team and the way he moves forward. Then moving into my forward pack, then I'll start at the front row. Genji, always good to get some points. His passion's really great as well. I think Dan Sheehan is quite simply just a try scoring machine. And then I've gone for another Italian, believe it or not. I've gone for Fischetti. Okay. Because you just got to try and mix it up a little bit, and then sort of just change it around. So we'll see how that goes. I have got exactly the same second row partnership. Okay, Lions partners, Ty Burn playing in the back row in the second row, and Maro Itoje, who plays 80 minutes most weeks anyway. My back row though, that's where I've only got one difference from Kent. I've got Caelan Doris and Ben Earl. I think Ben Earl's been absolutely brilliant, and when he puts that England shirt on in the Six Nations, he's superb. And even then, I watched him last Sunday as well, and he came off the bench for Saracens, and he was just a massive, massive difference for him. So that power and pace. And then my choice is Tom Curry, because I think he's possibly the best 7 that currently in the Northern Hemisphere. Yeah, so that's my team. My captain is Biel Barry, okay, and my super sub is Ronan Kelleher, because if Dan Sheehan's not scoring points, then Ronan Kelleher will be scoring points when he comes on. But I know Sheehan plays about 60, 70 minutes, so you only get him for 10 minutes. But last 10 minutes of the game, Ireland kick to the corner, Ty Burn catches the line out, Kelleher's got it in his hand, scores a try. Triple points. There you go. That's it. But remember, I hate fantasy rugby and I'm shit at it. So no doubt I will be coming bottom. There you go. That's my team.
Well, I think you're a complete buffoon, to be honest. But
what about his choice of teams then? If you just think he's a buffoon anyway.
Yeah, Tom Curry will get injured against Wales in the first game, and he won't play again. That'll be his tournament done. Like, he is literally exceptional, but made of cotton candy. He is fucking just falls apart at contact at times. Like, he's so on the line. It's like, I think that's why I didn't look at Underhill as well, because like, he'll get injured just getting off the team bus probably. I think everything else, mate, bob on.
Yeah, I really like those. I like those choices. I think Biari is the obvious captain choice, and I feel like he's going to do damage wherever he goes.
Yeah, I had him as captain first choice, and I changed it.
He's either on or he's on, though.
I think with Pinot not being available now, because I like Ken had Pinot in my squad as well.
I think everyone would have. Like, if you didn't have wind of him getting pulled from the squad, I think everyone had him probably in that back three.
But Bielbarese just finds himself in some places, and he's not bad under the high ball as well. And I don't know. I think it's not. Look, we'll see what happens, but I did try and go up slightly different and choose, slightly different players than everyone else went. Hopefully, I don't know if anybody else has gone for Tuipulotu, and because Hugh Jones would have been that's the one I was like, well, okay, actually. But Tuipulotu's the captain. He's going to be playing some hell of a rugby. He's coming back off his injury. He wants to carry hard. He wants to get some yards. And then him and Finn Russell together, they've been brilliant when those two have been playing together. So leave them combined together, and then away you go. And Menoncello was probably if he is any other nation in the Northern Hemisphere, he starts for England. He starts for Wales. He starts for Ireland. And he starts for Scotland as well. So, and France. So, I think he's absolutely superb.
The only concern I've got for Bielbarré is the French have also picked some amazing talent in there that will potentially get, like, they won't have to just rely on his pace. I don't think everything will all just come through his channel, because they've picked some exceptionally good young lads coming through. They've got, is it Alouf or whatever his name is, and they've got some They've got a few lads that are just Gardner or stuff. They got some quality lads that are just so quick. I think it was last Six Nations as well. There was the lad that played for France, and everything just went through his channel. And Bielbarré couldn't even get fucking near the ball because the lad was gone. He was like an Exocet missile, just disappeared. So he's an exceptional talent if they go through his channel. I just don't think that's the only option they've got now. They've got enough. I think they'll probably win this tournament, France. I think they've got a little bit more depth than they had in the previous ones in the right spots. I think England are probably, for the first time as an Englishman, we can probably say they're going to put up a decent showing. I still don't think we'll come out on top. I just think because the way the draw of the home and away will probably work against us. I don't think Ireland are where they were. I just don't think you can look past France, in my opinion. And they look devastating across the pitch. They've got so many options that can only be a positive for them. But Paul, I think that's a pretty half decent squad, mate. To be fair, for a bloke that doesn't like fantasy rugby,
I'll take it. That's a compliment from Carl.
Yeah.
Don't happen very often.
No, I think Kelleher's one of them. I don't think Sheehan will always start either. I think they might rotate that. So you'll still get points from Kelleher being the super sub, but it's not as many.
Yeah, I think that hooker position is really tough though, because I think if you'd gone for Jamie George, I don't think currently he's playing about 7 or 8.
Just announced his retirement, isn't he?
Has he?
End of the season,
2027 World Cup.
2027 World Cup, and he's knocking it on the head, so fair play to him.
Yeah, so, but I know he's going to play 60, 70 minutes as well, so it's not a bad,
Do you think he starts?
Lots of options.
Do you think he's a starting hooker for England?
It depends. We'll see.
Do you think Karen Dickey's a starting hooker for England?
Fuck me, we're all fucked. Like, might as well just give the Six Nations away then.
I think George coming off the bench though is not a bad option either way. But if you think back to when he was captain, that was part of the problem. England couldn't close a game out in the last 30 minutes because they take the captain off. Because you lose your leadership, which is why when you look at it, is Itoje's on the pitch for nearly 80 minutes every single game because you've got to maintain that level of leadership on the squad on the park. But
Itoje, when was the last time in a Lions or a England game, a tournament, that he actually missed a minute?
He got injured, didn't he? He come off during one of the Lions games as well. He was off during he got crocked. But I think, did he get crocked in the summer as well? There's not many games he's missed, to be fair to him. He is predominantly at least a 60, 70 minutes, unless something's hanging off him. So it's a pretty much guaranteed pick. Obviously, England aren't not going to pick your captain. It's not like that's not going to get picked. So this is where we've obviously, as we've said, you've kind of got a pick for the whole tournament rather than who's on form. Do you want me to do Keith's one and then we jump with Buster, or Buster and then Keith?
Let's see how many Irishmen he's got in his squad.
We've got 7 minutes of Kent wisdom left, supposedly. So we'll see what we can eke out of Kentos.
Is that it? And he loses his glass slipper.
That's it. Yeah. He turns into a pumpkin.
I turn back into a pumpkin.
Yeah. All right. So Keith's had to send me a screenshot. I'm not sure why there's the Pornhub sign at the bottom, but that's a different conversation. He has gone Keenan, Bielbarré, and Stockdale is his back three.
Did he just miss out on players? Did he not? Did he not turn the filter on or something for the other players in the back three?
He must have thought he was on a budget. I'm not sure what's gone. He's then gone Melancello, same as most of us, and then Jomo.
I like that. That's not a bad shout, though, to be fair.
That's a huge call, because he can he can play 12, 30. Has he played at 10 as well for Bath, briefly? He's
not going to play at 10.
He's not going to play it. Well, this is an injury crisis, but like, if you've got to play,
all 7 10s have got to get injured before that he's put in the squad. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's happened before, mate. People get food poisoning. Who knows what happens at Penny Hill Park?
To be fair, though, I like Max Ajoma in the centres. I think he was brilliant that last England game.
I think he's better than Ollie Lawrence. I'm going to put it out there.
Yeah, but I can't say anything bad about Ollie Lawrence until the day, because every time I say something bad about Ollie Lawrence, he then has a blinder and scores a try. So I wait for the day and then I'll say something about Ollie Lawrence.
Now he might have a good tournament.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just think he's like the slowest 13 in the world.
I think I've got more agility than him.
Well, that's pushing it. Do you know what I mean?
I was close to putting Freeman in my team because, again, that ability to play multiple positions in the centre with the trying him.
Hey, who knows he's right. He's gone for the non-starting 10 for England. Oh, no, that's right. Sorry. We're not sure. George Ford.
He's gone for the drop goal, isn't he? So George Ford and Dupont at 9 and 10. Obviously Dupont was a banker. Ford, I honestly think Ford starts.
I agree as well.
I
think he will.
After that November, I think he's done exceptionally well obviously in the Prem. He's kept his form. It's not like he's gone back and disappeared like he normally does.
He manages that back line really well.
And obviously if they've got the likes of Ajoma in there and other players across the back line, I think they gel better with Ford. Marcus is obviously there for the impact. And I think Finn Smith is probably still a little away from being in the conversation. But again, England doing England, we seem to manage to kill certain positions off and kill their optimism. And Finn Smith seems to have dropped down the order for... I don't think he's done anything wrong, really.
No, well, I think that's because because England are going to go for a 6-2 split on the bench. They'll put Marcus Smith on the bench because he gives you that option to cover everywhere.
Yeah.
Whereas Finn Smith is designated
10.
You know, if you put Finn Smith on the bench, he's only coming on at 10. You know, so it's a like for like replacement. So, you know, I think we can go into that Six Nations team, and I think it'll be interesting to see who he picks. But you know, maybe he might make some bold decisions for a change.
Do you think the centralised contracts will have any play in who gets picked in starting teams?
It shouldn't do,
but it will.
But I think it will. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's what I was thinking around, like the Ollie Lawrence and Ajomo debate, and like you say, with Marcus Smith getting picked, they're on centralised contracts, so I feel like they're going to have to be in the starting team. I don't know whether that's going to be accurate or not. That's just how my brain thinks about it.
Well. I still think they're stuck in the dark ages by not being able to pick some of the best players in the world. You know, they don't happen to be, you know, Jack Willis just doesn't happen to play in England, and he plays in, you know, one of the best leagues in the world, and he's one of the best sevens in the world.
And then obviously,
wait a minute,
Tom Willis is going the opposite way as well, and he's been told he's not going to get picked because he's going to France, and like he's still playing in the Prem, and probably one of the best options that you got to bolster that back three, but that is England. Right, front row, he's gone Genji, he's gone Sheehan captain, and then he's gone Ferrari.
I think it's purely for the pace.
I don't think Ferrari is getting picked at starter.
I'm glad you got that, Buster. I'm glad someone else was having a little chuckle.
I got it.
Joke.
I got it.
Come on, just give us a break.
I got it. I just thought he might have picked Lamborghini instead, but
bit of me that was, Paul.
That's what it should be.
So he's gone Ferrari. I'm not sure he's going to get picked every game. So brave choice there. He might have. Keith might have already lost one.
Oh, shock! Look who he's got in the second row.
And funnily enough, he's gone Atoji and Tyg Byrne. Imagine if somebody else had picked those two. That would spice up the life, wouldn't it?
Now that I've seen that Evans pretty copying my team, I've got to jump off.
Good on board anyway. See you later, Kent. So Ben Earl, an obvious one. He's gone.
Has he gone for Wacky?
He's gone Wacky as well, which I don't think's a starter, which is a brave choice. And then he's gone.
He scored a hat-trick the other day.
Doesn't mean he'll start for France.
and he's gone for Van der Merwe.
No, Van der Fleur.
Van der Fleur, sorry.
Van der Fleur, who didn't even start for the Lions, doesn't start for Ireland.
I think he has a good tournament.
I hope he. I really rate him. I think he's an absolute machine at the breakdown, and I think got really wasted by not being used by the Lions. I've got a lot of time for that pick. I just don't see him playing game in, game out. So captain obviously was Sheehan. His super sub is Jamie Dobby, which I'm assuming is Scottish. I'm not 100% sure who that is.
That's quite a clever pick. I quite like that.
Do you think? Because
he's El Rapido, mate.
Is he?
He is mustard around the breakdown, yeah. He's like a little sort of Danny Care-esque sniper around the breakdown.
What? They're 9.
Scrum half, is he?
Yeah.
I think Ben White is probably going to be their starter.
Yeah, I think he's a guy coming off the bench.
Am I thinking of the right person?
Yeah, but you're right. Ben White will start. So if he's put him on the bench, he'll probably come on and play maybe the last 20, 30 minutes. You never know.
Only 4% of people have picked him. Sheehan's been picked by 60% of people.
Dupont at 59% of people.
BL Barry's at 59. Ramos is at 61. Henry Pollock is actually picked at like 80%. 80% of people have picked Pollock. Sorry, it's dropped now, 49%. But it was a lot. It was like, when I looked earlier, it was like 80% of people had picked Pollock in their squad. Okay, so that's currently Kent, Keith and Paul. Buster, do you want to do yours?
15, same as everyone, BLBRE. I've gone a little bit different on the wings. I've gone Faye Waboso and I've gone Tommy Freeman.
You've gone two English as well. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I like it. The boys.
I like it, but I wasn't sure that Faye Waboso
will survive more than one game.
I think Tommy Freeman will play more than one game, but I just wasn't confident that Faye Waboso would. So, but I like. Don't get me. I think both of those two players are really exciting, and Faye Waboso has just been. I think he is the player that England have been looking for. Finally to replace the mad frog that is Johnny May. So
I've picked majority of players I've picked because A, I like them, and B, they've been on form. So they're not necessarily the smartest choices, but I've gone for something slightly different.
That's not the that's not the Borthwick way. That's everything anti-Borthwick.
You say
that, but Borthwick picks two people he likes and sticks with them for a whole tournament.
Yeah,
so,
but maybe not the people you like.
And Freeman, they might get blood. They might get.
Good point.
They might get 80 minutes 6 times.
Yeah.
Gutted Radwan got injured. Just I'll drop that in there. I think he could have been.
I don't think he would have got picked.
Oh, I don't know. I think it'd have been hard to not invite him into the squad.
I think I agree with Buster though.
I don't think.
Steve Borthwick knows who he likes.
Yeah, and it's centralised contracts thing as well, isn't it?
I know what I like. Yeah, and he's being pushed around by 97 sausages in red trousers.
But also with the Freeman argument, obviously he plays different positions now as well, doesn't he?
Play centre if he needed, etc. as well. He can play across the back if they really get desperate, don't they?
Into the centres then. I've gone for the Italian Monticello. Rate him. I think he plays every game. I think he gets 80 minutes every game. Carries hard, makes a lot of meters, turns a lot of ball over as well. I just think he'll score well. And then I've gone for someone that no one's picked yet. I've gone for Deporter, the Frenchman.
Nice.
He has been mustard. I've been watching European rugby and he has been unreal. I've actually doubled down on him. I've made him my captain.
Have you?
Yeah.
I just haven't seen him do it in a France shirt. I really rate him as well. I think he's an exception.
Yeah.
He has not done it in a French. Maybe Ficou not
I think
being
he has. He's scored quite a few for France.
Not the level that he could, but I think if Ficou's not there, I think sort of Ficou levels out those channels. So I think that might open up the freedom. I think it might work out well, mate. I think I agree with you. He's a great talent.
I also like when I watch him play. He's a very fast centre as well. So when you've got like Dupont breaking game lines and BL Barry breaking game lines, and he's running supporting lines, he scores a lot of tries from those positions. I just think that he's going to have a good tournament. So I've doubled down on him. I knew that.
While we're on that question, then. Right, obviously, with your focus now on a centre, who plays 10 for France? There's a big argument.
Is Ntamack's fit?
Ntamack's fit. There's a big argument that Jalibert is the best in the world at the minute, and then you got Ramos. Ramos can play 10 as well.
Ramos is playing, but Ramos is playing 15 at weekends anyway. You know, he
can still play 10 for him. He has played a lot of 10 there.
Yeah, and he is. Yeah, but when he plays 10 defensively, he just goes for a little wander.
Well, no, he just turns into a fucking turtle, doesn't he? Or turnstile.
Fire escape. It's like an usher. This way.
I think for Dupont it doesn't matter.
Do you not?
Do
you think Jalibert works well alongside Dupont, or is Ntamack the perfect fit for that?
I think Dupont goes 10. he does it on weekend. He did it on Sunday.
It could happen easily, but I don't think it will.
They put Le Garrick. Is it Le Garrick?
Le Garrick's quality as well.
Yeah, who would probably start for most. Most nations, and they put him on at 9, and then Dupont goes to 10, and it's like, oh, there you go. It's just whether Dupont's got 80 minutes in his legs.
Is Dupont a 10 at international level as well?
See,
he's on the
that
pitch.
Question you just raised, Polly. Does Dupont have 80 minutes at international level in his legs? Is why I didn't pick him as captain. I had him as captain, and I just thought to myself, especially, I think France are going to be really dominant this year. Just by watching top 14 of European rugby, the level of what they're playing at just supersedes everyone else, I think, at the moment. I think they're going to be a really dominant force. And I think if they're 20, 30 points up half-time, I think you're seeing him coming off a lot, because he's going to be protected.
Well, we'll see. I don't know.
I agree with you, Busty. He will only get a fixed 50, 60 minutes, but I think he's already caused enough carnage and got enough points to not worry about those last 20.
So that's my little mad pick. Deporter as my captain. Of course, I've got Finn Russell and Anton Dupont in my...
obviously.
9 and 10. So starting in the front row then, I've actually gone the same as you, Paul. I've gone for Shetty. I've been watching him play for Saints, and he is mustard, mate. He's a proper prop. Big fan of him. I think he carries hard as well. He makes a lot of meters, chops everything. I think he's a really good player. And then I've gone for a little wild card on the other side. I've gone for, and I don't know whether he'll start, I've gone for Rhys Carré, the Welshman.
Okay.
Because he has been mustard.
I don't even know who he is.
No? I can't remember who he plays for. Is he?
I haven't watched any that I couldn't go anywhere near a Welshman at the moment in terms of for the Six Nations. I don't know. I think, don't get me wrong, sometimes when teams are backs to the wall and if they can galvanise that squad and they can get those guys working, and if they can get them playing together, then don't get me wrong, I think they can challenge anyone on their day. There are so many holes for them to line up. There's so many things that have to go well. Everything has to sit right.
An absolute meatball as well. He starts for Sarries week in, week out. And I was thinking in that position, they don't particularly score very highly anyway, do they?
Nah.
Props. So,
not since they killed off all the scrum penalties and stuff that you used to be able to get on this game.
Yeah, so I felt like it was
some props used to give penalties away all the time, and it was like, oh crap.
I thought it was a bit of a risk, but it's a bit of a safe risk, that one.
Hey, look, why not? It's something different, isn't it?
Well, I've done the same thing in the second row.
So who's your hooker? Sorry, I must have missed that. Who's your hooker?
Oh, Sheehan. Sorry,
Sheehan.
Dan Sheehan. Yeah. I've gone Ty Burn, but I've gone Daffyd Jenkins.
Have I?
Just because I've been watching him play in
turnovers, mate.
The turnovers. He is a machine.
He got some huge points last season when they were bang up against it.
Turnovers win really good points, don't they?
Yeah.
I don't know, just fancied him. Yeah, I've gone for the liability. I've gone Sam Underhill. I love the way he plays the game. He's been carrying unreal this season. He chops everything, doesn't he? Turnover machine.
Going to get injured.
I don't know, I just hope... I hope more than anything that he gets a lot of game time. But
he's going to get injured recording the Netflix documentary, mate. Like it's just not. It's just.
Oh no, it's a risky one. It is a risky one.
I genuinely think that England are a better team when he's on the pitch.
I think he's exceptional, but he just can't keep him fit. It's a shame.
When I went to Twickenham, I parked in the Tesco and we bumped into him in the car park.
Big
and my missus was like, "Oh, hi!" She went all flirty with him.
But I just think that England team with it, if you put him in that team, you're making up for the differences. That's where your second rows are big. That's where Marrow has to do a little bit more carrying. That's where I'm still not entirely sure who he's going to start with next to Toji. I think it will probably be Coles, who's been absolutely brilliant as well. But then Ollie Chesham. But he loves playing Ollie Chesham at 6. So
I think
he loves having that.
Chesham will be on the bench as an option to play back row or the second row. He'll be as
you reckon?
Yeah.
With the likes of Cunningham South and that, I don't.
It'll be as an option for all of them. But he doesn't always like Cunningham Smith either. He doesn't like to play him.
He's been pushing him into the second row to be, they've been exposing him into the second row to allow the option for him to come off the bench, because otherwise you've got, you want guys coming off the bench. You just want 3 back rowers on the bench.
Yeah.
And you want one of them to be able to cover the second row if you get an injury. So that's why if you have Chesham in and Coles, Chesham can play in the back row. He can play 6, and then Curry at 7 and Earl at 8.
Yeah,
or, no doubt he'll choose Curry at 8 or something else like that. You have no idea. He understands it more than I do. He understands it more than us. He gets paid a shitload of money to do it as well. So sometimes I think we should all just shut up and let them get on with it. But then it's boring, isn't it?
Boring.
If we're not talking about sport, it's crap.
I got Ben Earl on the other side, and I got Caelan Doris in the middle.
Solid. Super sub.
Who do you think?
Pollock.
Look past him. Mustard, isn't he?
There's some brave choices in there, Buster. I love it.
I like it. It's different.
I think the big risk is the captain, isn't it? Because I'm sacrificing potentially a shit ton of points.
I don't know. I think that I don't like that captain. I don't like that triple points for your captain. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's only because you can't pick a captain that gets points, Polly. That's the only reason why you don't like it.
That's just like the LBR where he snaps his leg in game 1.
Right.
Come on then, Carl. Who have you got?
That leaves me, doesn't it? Right. So,
come on.
Well,
I've got a funny feeling that it's 60% the same as other people.
Yeah.
And there'll be a couple of little differences, but not massive.
You're probably not far off, mate. So, I don't think many of these are going to be surprises. So, starting at the top, we've got Tommy Freeman, Biel Barry, and Darcy Graham.
I like Darcy Graham.
I really rate him. He's always done me a solid in until he retires. I think he'll always be in my fantasy team. He always seems to get tries. They've obviously got Italy in that first game. I think he'll rack up some points there, hopefully. I think that'll be a bit of a back and forth between the two teams. I think Bielbury will be quiet in the first game. Potentially they got Ireland, didn't they? I mean, obviously England have got Wales, so I'm hoping Freeman gets his free rein and actually has a go. Obviously, Menoncello, I don't think many could look past him. The only other option would have potentially been Brex. like we used to always pick Brex as well, just for the difference. But Menoncello's just a different gravy. And then Hugh Jones, I still think he'll score tries. The only other one that in the back line that I could have potentially looked at was Van der Merwe, but I'd have only been picking him for the England game because the only one that he fucking scores tries in. Everything else would have been a waste of time. So that's where I'm at on that.
Few people saying Van der Merwe ain't going to get a game, mate.
It wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't play. I still think Darcy Graham starts most of the, but he could get injured as well. He loves an injury. Did it in the Lions, within 10 minutes of his debut on there as well, whatever it was, and not ideal. So potentially a risky one there, but I think when Darcy Graham's on fire, mate, it's hard to stop him scoring tries against most teams. So that's my opinion. Finn Russell at 10 and obviously Dupont at 9. I've captained Dupont because I still think those 40, 50, 60 minutes that he plays, he puts too many points on the board or he's involved in too many bits to turn away. I've gone Lorenzo Canoni for Italy, always good turnovers, gets the occasional try here and there, a tackling machine, always done me a solid previously in fantasy, pretty much plays every game, nigh on starts all the time.
Why has he got a red cross on it, Carl? Is he injured?
No, I'm literally loitering over the top of it.
Oh, right.
So, Wainwright, I've gone for the same idea as Buster with the Welsh David Jenkins pick. The turnovers they're going to be constantly under the pump. Tackles, turnovers, defensive.
So would you have gone for Morgan then?
No, I would have gone for Raphael. Or Reffel.
I'd have gone Morgan.
Obviously Morgan would have been picked, but I'd have potentially gone Tommy Reffel.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
I'm thinking for points. Like Morgan doesn't get many points. Yeah. Like Tommy Reffel seems to do all the dirty work that gets the points, in my opinion. And then my second row, I've gone Joe McCarthy and Maro Itoje. I think McCarthy starts in the second row. I think Ireland look a lot better with him, and obviously with him at the line out as well, I think he naturally fits in pretty well. That's also a risk because sometimes you don't always get picked, so a risky one, but I think I'll be surprised if he doesn't get picked. And then Genji, Sheehan, obviously they speak for himself. And then I got Cyril Bay.
He's one of my go-to props in Six Nations, and I thought I'd push it. That's why I went for Fischetti. But Cyril Bay's just been brilliant. He's always good. He's also pretty good for a yellow card every now and then.
I thought Fabien Gaultier leaves him on the bench.
No, he was injured. He was returning back. So, but either way, even if he comes off the bench, he normally gets a try. He normally gets something. So he'll be involved in the games in one way or the other. Whether it's fucking 20 minutes or 60 minutes, I don't know. But I still think he's probably gonna. I just don't think there's many other prop options out there that you're going to probably get a good return to what you're actually probly picking.
30 minutes out of Antonio.
That might be a really good pick.
And then a huge curveball with a super sub, like nobody else has picked him at all. So, Henry Pollock.
Who's your hooker?
Sheehan. Fucking hell. So, yeah, that is our Six Nations do or die picks. We're still waiting for Adams.
I think out of all five of us, we've all picked different captains, haven't we?
No.
Deporter, Dupont.
I've gone Dupont.
Louis BLBRE.
Who did Kent pick?
BLBRE, didn't he?
Yeah. Who did you pick as your captain, Paul?
Belbury.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, no, who went Sheehan? Keith.
Yeah.
Kent
Keith.
As well.
He went Sheehan as well, did he?
Yeah.
So not quite. But
So it's 4 different captains between 5 of us. It'll be interesting to see who Adam's picked.
Yeah.
That's what's going to make the difference in the score, isn't it?
That and the super sub. I still think the super sub's critical, and I think that's why I couldn't look past Pollock, because he'll get put in any position that will just cause mayhem, and he seems to always get a try.
I don't know. I think that back row for England is so, he picked Pollock because, Pollock is doing to rugby what, David Beckham did to football in the 90s to a degree. Pollock is putting it in, pushing it further off the back pages and closer to the front. Everyone loves to hate a pantomime villain, don't they?
Do you not think he's a good player then?
I think he is a good player. I don't know if he is as good as we want him to be.
I think he's got a bit of X factor. I do.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing. I think that X factor is absolutely crucial to rugby nowadays, and and he has created the fact that everyone keeps talking about him is the whole point, isn't it? That's the the conversation piece. But he does seem to be in the right place at the right time. He can also be shut down in games. I think I agree with you. Coming off a bench though, and in the day and age of rugby we've got nowadays, is that him coming off the bench it changes it up. It's a different. When you look at those South African players coming off the bench, they're just absolute beasts, aren't they? They're putting 7 players off the bench into that pack that are just designed to scrummage and be horrible round the breakdown, whereas he creates that little bit of extra space. You'll see him loitering on the wing, and he's got a hell of a lot of pace on him. I just think by doing that, what do you lose out defensively? Is he as strong as like an Underhill? Is he defensively as strong as Tom Curry? No. Does he carry like Ben Earl?
Not yet.
No. So it's. I don't even know if what his line out options like as well. So
he's still never started for England. Still never started. He's only ever come off the bench. So there's plenty of time, mate. Fuck me, to have that amount of talent at that age and have that opportunity, wherever he ends up with it, fair fucks to him. And he's putting rugby in the right light.
And that's one of the reasons is that, the rugby's changed nowadays is that you don't need to be able to play 80 minutes.
So, obviously, it's just me and you left poll. Everyone else has had to jump off.
It's only 10:30.
It's 11:30 here in Spain. So, final thoughts, mate. I think we've all gone a couple of wild cards. I think we've all gone fairly mainstream to try and get through the tournament.
Like I said to you, I think it would have been nice to try and work out a team with less stars or whatever it is to purchase it, and then you would have had to really go a little bit left field and and thought about it long term wise. But by having so many points, it's a case of, well, actually I can just kind of almost go and pick out the players that I know that are definitely going to start week in, week out.
I think we can still look at doing that with the weekly one. I think we can sort of limit that a little bit more, but I think
you limit it loads, and it means that they have to go and do their research as well. You can't just go, I'm going to pick him, because at the end of the day, if the reduced amount of stars, you turn around and go, well, do I really want Maro Toju, or am I going to go for a Welsh lock who's going to maybe get some turnover ball in the line out, or am I going to go for an Italian scrum half, or you kind of, that people will then go, right, who do I definitely want to pick, and then try and scramble a team around it. So everyone picks the same 5 players, the same 5-star players, and then it's the other 10 players that are completely different, because it's like, oh, actually, I think he might play this weekend, or I think he might play this weekend, and it's a little bit different, isn't it? So
yeah, we got a bit of time to refine that one. Last one then. How do you see the Six Nations finishing with the 6 teams? What order?
I genuinely, I think if you go really early shout is, France looked poor in the Six Autumn Nations, but I think they missed their leader and their inspiration. That was a 9. I think there was a little bit stuff going on in the squad. But looking at that Super 4, looking at the top 14 and looking at the way they're playing in Europe, and you look at the class that as Bordeaux's been playing, Toulouse have been playing, and all of those, and you just think, if Gautier can get it right, then I think they could be unstoppable. However, I think this year's Six Nations is probably the closest one for the last maybe 3-4 years. I think England and Ireland are definitely massive factors in it, and it's going to be the home or away advantage depending on how they sit. I haven't really looked at who's playing where, so I think England can beat everyone, without a shadow of a doubt. I think they've got the ability to beat everyone. I think Ireland could beat everyone, and I think France could beat everyone. So those are the struggles. Unfortunately, I think Wales will really struggle. Italy will do really well this year.
Pick 1 to 6.
1 top: France, England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. Scotland, Italy, Wales.
Scotland, Italy, Wales. I'm saying France, England, Ireland, Italy, Scotland, Wales.
So you think Scotland have dropped off that much?
After their performance.
Or do you think Italy have just got better?
Both. I think this is the prime opportunity for Italy to probably scalp Scotland. I think Scotland they're in full rebuild mode at the minute, and they're in, just over a year out from the World Cup. So they'll sacrifice this to get ready for the World Cup. If I was going to sacrifice a tournament and make sure you come into a World Cup on form, this would be the one before that you'd try and blood enough players in. I just don't think they've blooded enough in. I don't think they've got a way forward. I don't think like as Buster said, the last 12, 18 months they've been on a decline rather than sort of improving. They've not really brought anyone through. The autumn internationals was poor.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think they had a generational team, and I think they missed so many opportunities. And I think if you go back to the arguments that Townsend had with Finn Russell really early on in his career, when he was just started breaking through, where you had Stuart Hogg at 15 and you had an exceptional Scottish team, just poorly managed because they couldn't manage Finn Russell. That's maybe that's on Finn Russell. I don't know. I'm not in that psyche, but you look at him now and he's questionably, one of the most exciting players to watch on the pitch. Just let's have some weapons for him outside. I don't know. I think the Six Nations, I like the fact that you can't call it. I like the fact that everyone's going to be questioning how everyone does and what's going to happen. I love the fact that England are back in the mix and everyone's talking about them after a solid Six Nations, after a solid autumn internationals. And, like you said, we're 18 months, 2 years away from a World Cup. So
interesting.
Yeah. And in 2 years' time, we'll have South Africa in the Six Nations anyway, so it'll be all right.
Pretty much, yeah. So
they'll all be dressed in blue in Scotland.
Yeah. For everyone that has joined us, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you drop us a message with all the picks that we've made and tell us how stupid we are, or whether you agree. Let us know. We're not going to open up this one. This one's going to be for the rugby TTL lads to see how we get through the tournament. If you want to have a try on yourself and then submit your teams, let us know. More than welcome to have that. But we are then going to open up a weekly league, which we're going to try and do weekly pods, little episodes to talk about our bits. We're going to do a little videos and updates of who we picked, how we're doing, how you lot are doing as well. Shout outs to those that are probably going to beat us. Shout outs to the ones that finished bottom as well. So, which Polly will probably be propping up. But as always, it's great to have anyone that's actually got all the listened all the way through this. And Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, join the league. Make sure you get your mates to join the league. And I'm sure we can figure out of actually getting something planned to get on the piss to celebrate the forfeit who finishes last.
I think there's a few outstanding, isn't there?
I mean, there's going to be one hell of a weekend that we've got to cash them all in, and I think I'm in for two. But there's a few rolling around, so this could turn out to be pretty epic.
Yeah, and we have got to put something together, so we'll put it in a diary.
Thank you to everyone for joining. Really appreciate it, and we will catch you very soon with the further Six Nations fantasy content. See you later.